Morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening if you're watching this at a later day, later time of day. I'm Dr. Dan. This is Ask Dr. Dan, Facebook Live for Parent Footprint, brought to you by Parent Footprint and Parent Footprint Awareness Training. We are all about being aware parents in order to raise healthy, happy, successful, resilient, and engaged kids. And the key point that we want everyone to become aware of is that the best way to raise the kids that we want to have to be successful and healthy in the world is for them to watch you being fully engaged in your own life, fully engaged in your relationships, fully engaged in your work at home or out of home, your passions, your interests, your community. Show your kids how to be. Today, our topic is family rituals and values. Are our kids watching? And this topic came up last week, actually, in an experience that I had with my own family. And that is this whole idea of family dinners. So set the stage here. Growing up, I had lots of family dinners with my folks and my brother and I, and it seemed to be from what I remember, a very consistent dinner. Mostly good memories. There's some fighting with my brother, and there was the regular family stuff, but overall it's mostly just a consistent memory of music in the background, watching TV, waiting for my dad to get home, and then because we had a consistent job schedule, about the same time every night we'd have dinner. So knowing in my future, when I got married and had kids, that we would be having family dinners. And lo and behold, having 3 kids under 6 years and trying throughout those first few years having family dinners, they were complete disasters. For those of you who might have tried this with young kids as well, I mean, there was screaming, there was fighting, there was food throwing, there was, once they could get out of their high chair, there was getting in and out of their seat. Tension, spilt milk, food everywhere, and it just wasn't working. And I'm thinking, I've learned in graduate school, I've learned in my field of psychology that having family meals is a essential part of child adjustment and health. So I became more pressured with this and a little more worried about it's not working, and then we stopped doing it, we try it, and my wife was much more patient and had much more perspective, saying that, there'll be time, we'll have our family dinners. She grew up with family dinners as well. And so we took a break, and then slowly we started to have these family dinners, and it would be less disastrous, less quickly. We'd even get through some. We hung through it. We got a little more flexible with some of our rules about how people were eating, how people were eating standing up, walking around their chairs. We really wanted to focus on the experience as opposed to just manners. And as our kids aged, got older and matured, we actually were able to sit together. Sometimes they were quick, sometimes they were longer, sometimes one left quickly, or maybe one got sent to their room for something. But the family dinners started to take traction. And they became something that my wife and I actually really looked forward to most of the time, where we learned about our kids' lives and their relationships, and could talk about what was going on in the world. And then this is all the build up to something recent that happened. My wife went back to nursing a few nights a week, which was really mixing up our regular family dinner schedule. And I occasionally do talks and travel, so I wasn't always around as well, but we tried to make it a fairly steady thing. And so now 2 nights a week she was away, and then I started to be present for the family dinner. And then I had a previously scheduled work engagement. She was working, I was working. Kids knew they were going to be home alone, which now at 12, 14, and 16, they're able to do quite well and probably like it. And my wife had gotten some dinner stuff together. She got some taco stuff together before she left about 2 o'clock, and told my youngest that where all the food was. She tends to be the one who takes care of that stuff of the three. And so I get home about 9 o'clock at night, and our oldest says, "Hey, Dad, guess what?" She's smiling. I said, "What?" She said, "We had a family dinner." And I said, what? He said, yeah, we had a family dinner. Um, our little sister made us dinner, and she set the table, and my good friend was over, and the four of us sat down, and we had a long family dinner, and we talked and we laughed, and we had a blast. And they said, and we even cleaned up. And I looked around the kitchen, and they had actually cleaned up, which I wish I could say is a consistent theme in the home. But they stepped up and they carried on this tradition. It just blew me away. And then I went in to tuck my youngest in, and she said the same thing. Hey, guess what, Dad? We had a family dinner. Of course, I did everything. They bust the dishes, but I did all the dishes as well, which is typical of the dynamics. And it just blew me away. So this whole idea of are our kids watching? They are. I think our kids are always watching. If any of you who are listening right now want to post a family ritual of your own growing up, which was important to you, or also one that you do now, is important to you and you want to keep doing, go ahead for everyone to see. But this whole idea of, life is happening so fast, and we're often, everyone's busy. Parenting can be quite overwhelming these days with all of the stuff that's been thrown at us with technology, our kids getting older, our jobs, our relationships, being part of our community. And yet, it's really, really important to remember that what we do and what we show our kids, they internalize. And the stuff they like, they will continue in their families in the future with your grandkids, our grandkids. So we are really setting the tone for not only their life right now, but what's to come. So I'd like everyone to think about what are some of the family values and rituals that you have that are really important and that you want to be very purposeful about carrying on. For example, reading it to kids, watching a TV show together, playing a board game, talking about a current event, talking about what happened that was good that day, what happened that was not so good. Family rituals can take any shape or form. Walk into farmer's market on the weekend. Your kids will remember just like you remember. And you can choose the memories to some extent that you want your kids to have by focusing on certain things. With that, I'll leave you with Ask Dr. Dan from Parent Footprint and Parent Footprint Awareness Training, which is designed to help us become more aware as parents anytime, anywhere, with short mobile videos. Remember this question as you go about your day, the same one that I always ask. I ask myself the same thing. What footprint do you want to leave?